Important, folks. Let's now move to Tuesday as we saw it here in the area, the HTV viewing area. We'll now join Buy You Time and show you some of the topics that were discussed on that night's program.
It's very, very much a pleasure to have at the desk tonight Representative Bill Cassidy. Representative Bill Cassidy is from Congressional District 6, and we have to get used to this a little bit now because we were in a situation where it was always Congressional District 3 with Jeff Landry, of course, being our representative now. So first of all, great to meet you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because the majority of our viewership is in your particular district.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm very pleased to be here.
Maybe a little bit bio, a background on yourself?
You know, if you had to ask me, the first thing I'd say is that I'm a husband. I am a father. I've got 3 children. We were speaking, my children are teenagers. 2 of them, one of them is a 9-year-old, so 16, 14, and 9. I live in Baton Rouge. I teach. I'm a doctor. I'm a gastroenterologist, and I teach with LSU Medical School. So if someone's doctor is younger than, say, 45, then probably I taught them when they were students at LSU Medical School.
Very good.
About 2006, decided I just wanted to try something different. I liked what I was doing, but I ran for state senate. And then in 2008, ran for Congress. And this is I'm in the middle of my 2nd term.
Very good, very good. And of course, we mentioned a little bit about the District 6 is going to kind of delve down into the northern part of Terrebonne Parish, of course, Thibodaux, and the northern part of Lafourche Parish, all the way going back towards Baton Rouge. Just out of curiosity, do you lose any of your district that you have now?
Oh, yeah.
A lot? What areas would that be, out of curiosity?
I mean, the whole story, for those who are not familiar with it.
Very good, yeah, because this informs me a lot, too.
After Hurricane Katrina, Louisiana lost a lot of people. And so we currently have 7 congressmen, but because of the population loss, we're going down to 6. Now, folks that had always been together ended up getting divided. The capital region, which I currently represent, was divided into 3. I have most of that, but still it was all 1, and now it's 3. This region is divided into 2. So there's, you know, obviously some disappointment about that. That said, I tell people we're first Louisianians, we're Americans, and so now it's just a question of whether we're going to pull together for what's best for the United States, what's best for Louisiana. And I'm very optimistic that we will.
You are a graduate of LSU, and you mentioned a little bit earlier about what you do as far as the medical field, but I got to tell you, and I mentioned this to you at the break, I didn't know exactly who the guest was tonight until about 4:30, and then coming in and replacing Jason tonight. So I scurried over to the websites and looked, and boy, I got to tell you, you are certainly to be commended at things you did before you got into the political arena. I'll ask you to talk about that a little bit. You set up something in the Baton Rouge area, at the Greater Baton Rouge Community Clinic. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I work at Earl K. Long Hospital, which is, I still teach. Earl K. Long is kind of Baton Rouge version of Chabert Hospital. So if someone doesn't have insurance, that's where they go to get health care. So my practice, since I moved with my wife back to Baton Rouge, I met my wife in Los Angeles, we moved back here in 1990, has been trying to give health care to those who otherwise don't have it. So at some point, we decided to, well, let me back up. Lafayette has a free clinic for the working uninsured. It's not welfare, but if somebody is working full-time, they can go to this clinic and get free dental or medical care. The Baton Rouge area dentist approached the Medical Society, I was the president of it then, and asked if we could do something similar. And instead of having a building, we ended up having what we call a virtual clinic. If someone is working full-time, earns too much to qualify for Medicaid, but doesn't earn enough to buy insurance, they can get free dental or medical care through our clinic. And so somebody who's just really trying to do it right, who can't get health care, we try and give them health care.
Very good, very good. Also, another thing that I noticed on there was school-based hepatitis V vaccinations. What exactly did that pertain to, and how did that all get started?
You know, I am the way it got started is there was once I was at Earl K. Long Hospital, and there was a young girl who came in who was 17 years old, and she was dying from hepatitis B. And we put her on a helicopter, and we flew her by helicopter to get her liver transplant because she was going to die most likely without it. And I was so depressed. I thought, wait, we could have vaccinated this girl for $50 and prevented this from ever happening. And as it turns out, we're going to spend $300,000 or $400,000 to give her a chance to live. And it was just one of the most depressing days I had in my medical practice. And so after that, we said, well, let's try and vaccinate children. Well, the reason children weren't getting vaccinated is that, well, mothers sometimes didn't know about it, but also moms work. So for a mother to take her teenage child out of school and get them vaccinated 3 times means the mom is missing work 3 days, the child's missing school 3 days. So we did a program where we brought the hepatitis B vaccine to the children. And so at no cost to the parents, to the schools, or to anybody, we brought, on a public-private partnership, vaccines to about 36,000 children over a 6-year period. We were as far south as Assumption Parish, and we were in every other area around the capital region.
Very good, very good. This is a situation where you're rolling right along and you're teaching and you're in the medical field. What sparked the interest? And I'll go back to your first. You ran for the Senate of Louisiana, right? Wasn't that a special election? Was that a situation?
It was.
It was. What spurred you on to maybe get into the political arena? After
Hurricane Katrina, I think a lot of us in Louisiana thought that our state could do something better. And a lot of us who had been involved, there's a really good spirit of community around here. There really is. And so I have that same spirit of community. I very much recognize that here. But after Hurricane Katrina, we all looked at our wonderful state. We said, you know, our state can do better than what happened after Katrina. And just decided this is the time for me to run. Jay Darden retired to run for Secretary of State. The seat became open, and that's when we ran, and that's where it began.
We're very fortunate. Jason, our producer, has, I think if you'd have that ready, Jason, you could show it, a map of the different districts. And you can kind of see there now, for you folks who are not real familiar with the map of Terrebonne Parish, we're down at the bottom, and to the right, you see the upper part of Lafourche Parish, and then the break in it there. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, that light green area is you, right? You go right up the Highway 1 area, and if you can, talk a little bit about how it goes from right to left or left to right, as it may be, up towards the Baton Rouge area.
Before I refer to the map, let me let everybody just think of the state of Louisiana looking like a boot. In New Orleans, there is what is called the Voting Rights District, or it is a predominantly African-American district that goes from New Orleans all the way up the west side of the river to Baton Rouge, taking about 150,000 voters out of, and here you can see on this map, it kind of goes just, I don't know, like somebody lying down on a couch. Goes from New Orleans all the way up the west side of the river to Baton Rouge. Now, you see that light green surrounding it, that's the 6th Congressional District, which goes down to St. Charles Parish on the east side of the river, up through Livingston, St. Helena, East Feliciana, East Baton Rouge, Ascension, over onto the west side of the river, coming down from Point Capee, West Baton Rouge, Iberville, and then into the Lafourche, Assumption, and the Lafourche Terrebonne area. So that is the new 6th Congressional District.
You mentioned a little bit earlier, and I just want to go over this real quick so that our viewers know a little bit of a history. In 2008 was the first time you ran for this particular position and won 48% of the vote. And if we didn't mention it, you are of the Republican Party. I'm not quite sure that was mentioned. Defeating Don Casio, 48%, 40%, and Michael Jackson. No, don't even, not that Michael Jackson. Okay. And then in 2010, absolutely no problem, 66% of the vote as you defeated Merritt McDonald. And like I said, it's just names we don't hear on a regular basis, as we're worried about, you know, what's going on down here as far as everything that was happening with Jeff Landry and such. But since your appointment, is it a situation now, you talked about what you do in the medical field and teaching. Has it been a good balance? Has it been something that you expected that you were going to be able to carry on with the entire time? Has it been tough? Are there things that you had to give and take along the way?
In terms of what,
In terms of working at Earl Kelong, in terms of still teaching and things like that?
Yeah, I teach now far less than I used to, 1 or 2 days a week. But that's really a nice thing, because the people I meet at Earl Kelong are typically patients who would never meet their congressman. And when I walk in to see, and I have a young doctor with me because it's a teaching environment, I don't ever mention that I'm a congressman till the very end, and I teach, and sometimes they know me, and they're, oh, Dr. Cassidy, how are you? But sometimes they don't. And then at the end, I'll give them my card. I'll say, if I can ever serve you, please, this is how you contact me. And I want them to know that, that I, their congressman, am there to serve. I'm not high and mighty, I am there to serve. And that's just a way to bring that message to folks who otherwise probably wouldn't run into their congressman. It's very good.
Very good. A couple of committees that you serve on, if you will, expand on that a little bit. You're on the subcommittee for health. What is that?
I'm on the Energy and Commerce Committee overall.
Overall.
Okay.
Okay.
Now that is, Billy Tozan was the chair of that committee way back when. Billy Tozan was a very successful congressman. When I got elected 3 years ago, Billy Tozan was one of those who I thought to myself, if I can be as successful as Tozan, I will be able to do a good job for my district and for my state, for my country. So I'm now on that committee, and that was our goal to get there. On that committee, I'm on the health subcommittee. There are some major hospitals in this region, as there are in the district I currently represent. The health care bill, Obamacare, which I oppose, is going to be one of the things we consider in that committee. Second, I'm on the environment and the economy, which is very important because all the oil and gas that is produced here goes for the petrochemical plants all up and down the Mississippi River. Our economy, if you will, is fueled by the oil and gas that is found offshore of coastal Louisiana. So that gives me a good committee to advocate there. And then I'm on commerce, manufacturing, and trade. You know, South Louisiana has 3 of the 10 largest ports in the country. That's people don't think about that, but we have 3 of the 10 largest ports in the country. And so that is another subcommittee where I can kind of address the issues of trade.
So getting on these committees was not just a pull out, there was a purpose to this.
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as relation to both what you've done in the health field and, of course, what our state has to offer.
Yeah, it's my goal as a guy who's kind of going into a second career, if you will, is to be have as much impact as possible as I can for my district, my state, and my country. And this just seemed the committee that would allow me to do so.
All right, there you saw Tuesday's events. We want to remind everybody, too, as we go to the break, to please visit our website, our new and revised website, as Harley Cortez is doing a great job on that. Also, we have Jason Serenier. They're all working together to try to make that a great website that you can be interactive with and also stay up to date on local news. So we want to make sure we keep plugging away at that so you will get in the habit of going to that website at htv10.tv. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's Wednesday on Bayou Time.